All right, so Diddy was found guilty on 2 charges, but not guilty on 3 charges. What does that mean? Well, the key word is not guilty. Now, listen to this next part closely. In the American justice system, there's guilty and not guilty. There's not guilty and innocent. No, 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 no. So the question isn't did he do it or not? The question is, can you prove he did it? And this will make more sense with an example. What if I told you, pretend you're the jury, what if I told you Diddy illegally transported workers of the nighttime throughout the United States? You'd probably say, well, how do you know that? You psychics like Raven and them? And the prosecution would say, you a little slow. But how I know that is here are his flight records, the flights that he bought them, and here are some texts of him having conversations with them saying, yo, I'm finna pay you, come through. You think he did it or not? The answer is probably yes. Well, that's what a jury thought as well. He was guilty for that charge. But here's where things start to get wicked. There's a second question. Well, do you have any reasonable doubt that he did it? And now you might pause and go, oh. But again, the jury said guilty, so that means they didn't really have any doubts. Yes, he transported workers of the nighttime. He did that. Okay, that count might have been a little easy. So what about this other count? Diddy forced his ex-girlfriends to watch Netflix with those workers of the nighttime. When they would try to leave, Diddy would force them back by force. We have a video showing him doing that. Now, Diddy's lawyer, again, does not have to prove anything. He just has to sprinkle in some doubt. All he has to say is, well, are we sure he was bringing her to watch Netflix with somebody? What if he was just mad at this moment? He shouldn't have done that. But this looks like domestic violence. Shouldn't you charge him for that? So a prosecution will have to bring in more evidence to convince a jury. They say, look, here's the security guard. Security guard, what did you see? Security guard say, I saw him drag her back to the room. I looked in the room. I saw a worker of the nighttime. Diddy's lawyers will say, I don't know, maybe the worker of the nighttime was just there chilling. And they'll go back and forth like that with all the pieces of evidence. Now in this charge, the jury had doubts because they said not guilty. They didn't say he didn't do it. They said you didn't convince me that he did it. Now again, this example is very, very basic. There's much more evidence. There's much more of the story painted for jurors. But the main point of this example is to kind of show how the court works. That doubt part, that hesitation is huge because the word reasonable doubt can mean anything to anyone. A lot of times the defense just has to sprinkle in a little bit of doubt. They didn't even bring Kid Cudi's case to trial. They knew they wasn't gonna win that. Kid Cudi said, Diddy blew up my car. Diddy called me mad. I walk outside. I see my car on fire. I see Diddy outside my gate staring at me. A defense would just have to say, what did you get on video? Stop talking. Maybe he was just taking a walk. Maybe he was just in the neighborhood. So reasonable doubt is the huge player in this case, and a lot of cases actually. I'm gonna go into the case in more detail again in a longer YouTube video. But basically the trial went guilty on 2 counts of transporting workers of the nighttime. 2 counts means they basically proved that he did it twice. All of that is up to 10 years, but that could be anywhere from 0 years to 10 years. It's probably not gonna be 10 years. They usually don't give out the maximum. 2 counts of him forcing people to watch Netflix, not guilty. And the final charge was, did he do all these illegal things through his business? Did he use his business as a criminal enterprise? That's gonna be like an hour-long video. We'll talk about that another time, but not guilty.
But oh boy, he had another thing coming. The jury will now go off and deliberate on... Guilty! That nigga is guilty!
Do you agree with the judge? If you don't, give me a follow. See you later.